What's up, good people? It's your five fancy homie Jay. um, look, so I've had people already. I've had so many people ask me, "Can you do a UI video, like show how your HUD works and like your keybinds?" And like I have no problem doing that because I love y'all and I love making content that like y'all want like that because that tells me like this is something that can help y'all out. But I struggled with it because I had no idea how the heck I was gonna make a video explaining why my HUD looks like this. Because it's more of just it's more of just an OCD thing of my part. But I'm happy to go through kind of how the setup is. You know why I have the buttons the way I do. What these buttons do is all that stuff. So I got y'all. So this is the HUD video for all my people, all my homies who asked for that. I got you. So bear with me as I figure out how this works. So if we go to the HUD layout, as you can see, I'm a person who enjoys having, like, I enjoy being able to see as much screen as possible. Like, if we go back out, I really enjoy having everything pushed as far to the sides as possible so I can see what's happening in the fight. Because I'm a very visual person and I need to be able to see like what's happening. If not, I'm gonna die way more times than I already do, and nobody wants that. Nobody wants that. So I like to have everything pushed to the side. So if I pull up my HUD, hopefully this HUD layout, I have my hair in my mouth. Oh god, oh no, not like this. Hopefully my HUD layout kind of shows what's happening here. So in this top corner, I have my limit gauge here. My party list is here with my alliance raise, right? So I have everything kind of grouped in a way that like it just looks really good on paper. So this is kind of how everything is set up. I have my boss health is always up here because this doesn't really matter to me, but my target info, like the cast bar of the boss, it's important for me to be able to see, especially when you start doing like savage content and stream content. It's important to be able to put these things in places that you can see easily. One of the biggest questions that I've had is, how do I have my buff timers above my bar? And that's something that you actually have to manually go ahead and change. It's the status info enhancement. If you click on your UI element, you can actually break out. So I think originally they're up here on the target info, but if you can actually break out your enhancement, your status, and your enfeeblements, and you can actually put them away from the actual health bar itself. And that's why I have it set up here. So if we go into the categories, once you click into the enhancement, like once you click on the enhancement one, if you open up the settings, I feel like I'm going super fast. If you open up the UI element settings here, you can actually click to see. I think originally it's set to display a single element. You can split the elements into 3 groups. The 3 groups would be an enfeeblement, status, and enhancements. Enhancements is the ones that show your buff. Status, I believe, shows like when you are I think that's one, like if there is, I don't remember. but one of these is like when you're paralyzed. When you have paralyzed, it might be status. Enfeeblement is something different. But you can break them out into 3 separate groups, and then you're able to move them as needed, however you like. And for me, I wanted my timers to be right above. I wanted my timers to be right above my hotbar because that's the place I'm looking at the most, other than the actual screen. So I wanted to be able to consistently be able to see my timers. So if you're looking to figure out how to do that, you want to go into the UI element setting of your any one of these 3. You just click the element settings, and then actually I think you actually have to go to the enhancement one. Yeah, you actually go to the enhancement one, and then you click split into 3 groups and move it. So that is where my timers are and why I have them there. And the reason I have them there is so I can consistently, while I'm looking at my rotation, I'm also able to, see out of my peripherals and glance real quick at what my timers are. Also, the reason I have them there is because if my timers are here, I keep everything really close. My gauge is here, my chakra gauge is here. So like they're just right on top of each other, so I can keep an eye on that. And I like to have everything kind of like that's important right here in this little area, because for me, I'm always going to be looking at my hotbar. So it's important that I have all these things. And I'm going to leave this up if you want to copy this. This is why I'm leaving it up the way I am. Don't worry, there's nothing behind my camera, so you're not missing anything, I promise. But I'm gonna leave this up as you're copying this if you want to copy this layout. Like duty listing, I keep everything kind of small to notice this. Everything's just off to the side, none of that matters. But everything that's important, I have right here. Right, it's all surrounding my hotbar. So that way at all times I can look, I can see what the boss is casting, because in Savage and Extreme content, names of what they're casting is super important. I can see my own cast bar. This is when I was playing Black Mage, or when I played Red Mage. I can actually see my own cast bar and see how much longer I have on it. I want everything to be nice and uniformed in a way that I can keep eyes on it. So here is my HUD layout. Why do I have it this way? It's because I just like it like this. Like, I just like everything to look clean. As you can see, I have all my lines lined up. Like, everything's almost as perfect as it could be. It's just something that just brings me so much satisfaction. Like, I don't have an answer for that. But here is if you want to copy this is how everything looks. I have all my mounts, my emotes, and all my like job hotbars like small in this little corner over here. My inventory grid I have hidden because I don't care to see that. My guild and my menu buttons are really tiny because I'm probably ever going to be messing with those. So everything's just uniform. So hopefully this has been up. If not, pause the video so you can copy this if you want. And the other question I have is like, why do I have my hotbar the way like, why do I have it? How do I have it laid out in a way that is working for me? I don't have any special keybinds. I don't have anything special. The only macro that I have is Thunderclap, and I actually named it Cheek Slapper. So don't judge me on that. I actually named my macro Cheek Slapper because I feel like that's what I do when I dash at a boss. I just slap him on the cheeks real quick. It'd just be like, hey, about to make you up, bro. But this was a funny that I made while I was on the stream. So it's actually called, that's the only macro I have. But so for normal for me is I actually have like pretty like long fingers. So like my fingers are pretty long. So I actually use the 1 through 6 key for all my combo rotations. So like for me, in a normal world, like boot shine, true strike, and punch and snap punch would be like a 1, 2, 3. Right? In any other job, it'd be like your 1, 2, 3. And then Dragon Kick, Twin Snakes, and Demolish is our second 1, 2, 3. But I wanted to group them in a way that like I can visually see how they're linked together. So like Boot Shine and Dragon Kick are both 1s. True Strike and Twin Snake are both 2s. Snap Punch and Demolish are both 3s. And I wanted to keep them in that order. Like, I know some people like they'll mix them up a little bit to be like how they want to flow in the combo. But for me, visually, having them in kind of in the same, okay, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 is my second 1, 2, 3, just really works for me. Also, it helps me remember that, okay, both of these have the same fighting stance or the same form. But True Strike and Twin Snakes have the same form. Snap Punch and Demolish have the same form. So that's why I have them set up that way. That way I have like taught my mind to look at them and link and put them in like categories, so I can always remember, just in case I go crazy. Anything I do, any job I do, I always put my AoEs on the second row. Like every job I do, my AoE rotation always goes on the second row. And I know for some people this is like left control, but because my fingers are prone to like hit more buttons than I need to, I actually use shift here. I don't use left control at all. I actually have key binded my second row to shift. So it's shift 1, shift 2, shift 3, shift 4, all the way to shift 6. Most of the time I don't use these, but if I have to. And then because I'm able to reach my F keys, I have put all my riddles on F1, F2, F3. And my feint on F4. I put feint on F4. You'll use that more in like end game. You don't use that too much in like dungeons and stuff. But this is, I mean, obviously you can mix and match this however you want. But for me, it's just I like to put my stuff in a category in a way that my brain can remember. All my buffs, all my OGCDs are over here. Anything that requires me, so like my OGCDs, my quick buttons are all usually on E or R. As you can see, meditation and masterful blitz, because you know, since I'm moving with W, me just reaching to my E and R is really easy. So I can hit my chakras really fast. I can hit my masterful blitz really easy. So I like to have those numbers. Like to have those buttons really close to my W key, and then my buffs and everything else kind of just fills in accordingly. The only other thing is I have macro is my sprint. It just makes I just have it where it presses sprint a lot. So like if we look at my macros here, because sometimes sprint doesn't activate. So I have this macro just to make sure that my sprint activates the first time I click it, and I'm not having to spam my button. And then this last, so this row here is Shift Q, Shift E, Shift R, Shift F. Everything's Shift. So Shift here, no shifts here, just Q, E, R, V, G, Z, Z. And then for this last row up here, these are all the buttons that I'm manually gonna click myself. They're not to a button. I think they're to Alt. I'm never gonna press Alt. Alt is too tiny and too far for me to want to mess with. So these are all my manual buttons. So this is my layout. This is what I do. I don't know how else to explain this, but I know so many people was like, wait, do you have a layout video? And why do you do what you do? This is the best I got. And I don't know how else to explain it. But this is just what works for me. Obviously, you're going to find your own button rotation that works for you. The nice thing about Monk is that we lost some buttons. So having to fill this in isn't as hard as it used to be. I mean, back in Shadowbringer, all this used to be filled in. But I mean, for me, I just group things. And I think the most important thing for people is to really put their rotation in a way that is going to make sense for you to remember. And this is just how it works for me. So I hope this video is helpful. I hope this video is nice and clean. The last thing is a lot of my stuff is set to like 80. A lot of my stuff is set to my own like 80%, 100%. I like my stuff, like I like my icons to be smaller just so I can have more of the map, more of the visual to see. But obviously I wear glasses, so it's probably been a detriment to my health. But that's it. That's all I got for you today. I hope this video is helpful. I hope that you can take it and look at it and break it down. If you have questions, always hit me up in the chat, in the comment section. I try to answer every comment possible because I just love helping and talking to y'all and having the conversations. You can join my Discord. We have monthly raid group events there, which is a fun time. And you know, if this helped you, like and subscribe if you enjoy hanging out with me. Other than that, that's all I got, and I will see y'all on the next video. I'm so glad I got this out the way because literally I've been stressing on figuring out how to even talk about this stuff. I hope this was helpful.